leading the way with important local coverage. You're watching WISN 12 News at 10.
Giannis has been dominant.
The Milwaukee Bucks victorious in their first game in front of home fans this season. Stephanie Sutton joins us with a look at the Bucks' blowout win over the Houston Rockets. Tonight, the Red Cross assisting survivors of a Harland fire that left 6 people dead. Kendall Keys on the ongoing investigation as surviving residents feel the emotional toll of the fatal fire. And the legal fight over President Biden's student loan forgiveness plan, the federal appeals court decision that has temporarily halted the president's program.
So we saw that last year, we saw it again this year. Giannis, bring in the goods!
The Bucks opened their home schedule with the win at Fiserv Forum. Milwaukee defeating the Rockets in front of their home crowd to start the season 2-0. Here's a live look now at Fiserv Forum tonight as fans celebrate the victory. 12 Sports' Stephanie Sutton joining us now with a look at how the Bucks got it done. Way to bring it home.
Oh, they got it done. I know it's early on in the season, but Giannis and the Bucks are off to a great start, shooting past the Houston Rockets in their home opener. A full house on hand at Fiserv Forum tonight, and the Bucks didn't disappoint the fans. Got off to a 13-0 start at the beginning, never trailed, led by as many as 27 points. Giannis with his biggest game of the young season so far, a double-double, 44 points and 12 rebounds. The Bucks blow out the Rockets in their home opener, the final 125-105. Here's head coach Mike Budenholzer after the game.
I think, you know, his ability to get to the paint is good, but you know, the confidence that he shot those 2 threes with, you know, the pull-up jumper at the top of the key. You know, I think our defense, you know, stood out to, you know, in a weird way to help Giannis get his 44. I felt like, you know, there were a lot of possessions where we were getting stops and being able to play in transition. So, yeah, he's special.
Yes, he is a special player. The Bucks also play their next 5 games at home. Next one is Wednesday against the Brooklyn Nets at Fiserv Forum.
All right, nice win there. Thank you, Stephanie. Well, during the Bucks' last home game in May, 17 people were shot near Deer District. The mass shooting happened after a playoff loss to the Boston Celtics. With more large crowds expected, Milwaukee police say they are beefing up security this weekend and for all large events.
We have actually looked at all options to try to bring as many of the officers that we have available to come down and work the entertainment district on these large evenings. With large crowds, it's important for us to be out in force, on foot, in the middle of the crowds, ensuring that we are available to assist with whatever's needed.
MPD says they work hand in hand with the Bucks on special event planning, such as big games like tonight's. Well, new tonight, we are learning more about the people impacted by that deadly fire in Harland. Police say 6 people died, and the Red Cross now tells us they are helping the other 10 displaced. Kendall Keys shows us the building one day after tragedy.
Across from the hall from me, none of them were out. I started screaming, yelling. Nobody knew where any of them were. We've been in that building for 14 years. We knew each other really well. It's just so scary.
As boards go up on Mansfield Court in Harland, tears fall down. This one day after authorities say they recovered 6 bodies from a fire early Friday morning.
This is something you see on TV and you say, well, it's not near me. Well, this is 2 doors down.
The Red Cross revealing some specifics to 12 News Saturday. They're helping 3 families out of the 4-family building. A couple in one unit and 2 families of 4 in the others, including the Gashi family.
Because I was just thinking, like, it could have been me, it could have been my kids.
Police say there's a criminal investigation underway. Until it's complete, questions remain.
What could this be? Was this really an accident? Or is this something else?
Police tell us additional information could come on Sunday. They're waiting for the state crime lab, the state fire marshal, and the medical examiner's office to wrap up their investigations. In Harland, Kendall Keys, WISN 12 News.
Well, officials are waiting for investigations to wrap up and also waiting on victim identifications for the 6 that lost their lives. Of course, we will keep you updated on when all of that information comes in. New tonight, a car collides with a Milwaukee County bus, injuring one person. Here's some video of that damaged bus near 6th and Canal Street. Milwaukee Fire confirms the injured person was brought to the hospital. It's unclear what exactly led up to the crash. Meanwhile, police also investigating a fatal shooting on the city's north side. Officials say the shooting happened near 38th and Congress shortly after 7. Police say the victim is a male at about 30 years of age. No arrests have been made as police continue to look for the shooter. 6 people shot overnight in Milwaukee, including a teenager. Police say it happened at about 1:30 this morning near Fond du Lac and Hoyt. They say officers found about 100 shell casings at the scene. Officials say their ages are 17, 21, 22, 23, 27, and 36 years old. Police are still investigating what led up to the shooting. Turning now to Weather Watch 12. Such a beautiful fall day, Daji. Hopefully everyone enjoyed it. And there's more to come.
Yeah, there's some more days like this. So like you said, you got to get out and enjoy it. Tonight, you can still do that. Right now in Brookfield, 66 degrees and remaining clear across the region. We are going to notice dry conditions, clear skies. Milwaukee, it's 10:17. And we're at 70 degrees. It is mild for many of us here tonight. Temperatures are going to try to fall a bit cooler. Now, today we did top off in the upper 70s. Ahead, I'll let you know what our high is for Sunday and when we could see the chance at some rain.
All right, thank you, Daji. Well, North Shore fire officials confirm 2 people were rescued from Lake Michigan this afternoon. Officials say a sailboat overturned near Atwater Park with 2 people on board. The 2 were then found and pulled out of the water along North Palisades Road near Big Bay Park in Whitefish Bay. Well, right now, there are just 17 days until Election Day. And tonight, the city of Milwaukee ramping up Election Day preparations. 12 News' Gabriela Garza went inside the training room for poll workers.
As the days count down to the November 8th Election Day, the City of Milwaukee Election Commission preparing their chief inspectors.
Having increased number of election observers, the potential for voters to be challenged, how to do crowd control.
Claire Woodall-Vogue, Executive Director of the City of Milwaukee Election Commission, honing in on issues unique to general elections.
So every general election, we increase our staffing numbers, our staffing levels. And that's because we see higher voter turnout in general and midterm elections.
This election, including the hotly contested races for Wisconsin governor and U.S. senator, with many eyes focused on the polls.
Election observers have been always a crucial part of democracy. That's nothing new. And in this heightened, more tense environment, I don't want you to feel threatened by observers and their presence.
Regardless of political stance, all are working with one goal in mind.
Everyone is there for the same reason, that we all want to help someone vote.
Here in Wisconsin, early voting begins on October 25th and will run through November 5th. And one of those early voting locations is right here at the Zeidler Building. In Milwaukee, Gabriela Garza, WISN 12 News.
Well, Democratic U.S. Senate candidate Mandela Barnes making a campaign stop today in Milwaukee. Barnes hosting a Latinos for Mandela meet and greet event near 11th and Mitchell, listening to issues most important to voters in the community. Meanwhile, his Republican challenger, U.S. Senator Ron Johnson, held a roundtable with Wisconsin veterans in Elm Grove yesterday. The former acting director of national intelligence also attended. They discussed a range of topics from veteran mental health to military recruitment. And don't forget, Election Day is November 8th. Before you vote, make sure you know where and when to download. You can download the 12 News mobile app and search for the Voter's Guide. Well, fireworks in the courtroom as the 3rd week of the Waukesha parade attack trial wrapped up.
This man right now is having a stare down with me. It's very disrespectful. He pounded his fist. Frankly, it makes me scared. And we're taking a break.
Well, in just the second day of calling witnesses for his defense, defendant Daryl Brooks quickly clashed with the judge, Jennifer Doro, at one point seeming to stare angrily at the judge. In between the tension between Brooks and the judge, he called a half dozen witnesses asking what they saw the day of the parade, including the mother of 4 children who had been hit by the red SUV.
Only able to see 2 of my children that night.
When did you see the other 2?
Days later, when I was able to leave Children's Hospital.
Did you see the driver of this SUV you're referring to?
Yeah, he was standing right there.
Well, Brooks is accused of killing 6 people and injuring more than 60 others when prosecutors say he drove through the Waukesha Christmas parade last November. And Brooks has not said if he will testify and take the stand. Trial resumes next week. You can watch every moment of the trial live on WISN.com, the 12 News Facebook page, and our 12 News app. Well, the head of the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention has tested positive for COVID-19. A statement from the CDC says Dr. Rochelle Walensky learned of her positive test Friday night. She is experiencing mild symptoms and isolating at home. The agency says Walensky is up to date on her COVID vaccinations, and she will participate in her planned meetings virtually. Medical experts warning of a disturbing trend, a rise in pediatric cases of RSV, the flu, and other respiratory viruses at hospitals across the country. Health officials say as people continue to pull back on COVID measures such as wearing masks and social distancing, we're seeing a surge of infections that in the past might have been spread out over a period of time. According to the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, the age group currently most impacted by flu-like illness is children under 5.
Not only are we seeing more viruses, we are seeing them sooner than we typically see them in cold and flu season.
This is the pediatric version of the beginning of the pandemic, and it has really taxed all of us.
Hospitals in at least 43 states telling ABC News they're facing a crush of the flu, RSV, and other common viruses. Well, still to come tonight, the fight over President Biden's student loan forgiveness plan.
Their outrage is wrong and it's hypocritical.
The federal appeals court decision that has put a temporary stop to the president's program. Plus, Ukraine fights back against Kremlin missiles that target its energy source, the plea from the country's president as they continue to deal with power outages.
And on the weather side of things, we have a few more days in the 70s. When we start to transition closer to average, that's ahead on Weather Watch 12.